What's up, gamers? This is YuBan with a Mechabellum replay commentary. Today we are going to highlight a crazy game where our opponent went for carry Void Eye. Looking at the starting specs, we are eyeing the quick supply spec because we like having the extra 200 supplies in the first round. This allows us to set up a board with two 200 cost units. And with the Hound and Mustangs in the backline for chaff clear and anti-air, we are feeling very stoked about this starting pack. And decided to go for two Sabertooth. Sabertooth with Hounds and Mustangs in the back is such a strong composition in the current meta. And this allows us to feel confident in being very far forward in our push, placing our Sabertooth about 2 to 3 squares behind the initial line, and then spacing out our chaff clear units just slightly behind, and spaced out 2 to 3 squares in between to avoid any kind of splash damage. Our opponent is Maitrepeters, a 2000 MMR player playing as aerial spec with Sledgehammer and Void Eye. Whenever I see opponent grabbing sledgehammers with the aerial spec, I am immediately worried about getting pushed by Overlord, as those two units just go so well together. Let's see how this crossfire turns out. We should be favored as we had an extra 200 supplies in the first round. However, with the crossfire, I find it's more or less a crapshoot. It all depends on the tower debuff timing and how the units interact in the middle here. And as you can see here, we got an early tower debuff, allowing us to take care of almost half of our opponent's army in that process. However, the counter debuff by our opponent is doing even more damage, as we are failing to clear the chaff units that are swarming our Sabertooth, allowing opponent's Void Eye to stay in the back to farm up experience and deal tremendous damage to our Sabertooth. Can this one hero Sabertooth stay alive during the tower debuff? Let's find out. It would be lovely if we don't lose the first round with our advantage. It seems like opponent defeated our first round by just a smidge. Round 2 card reinforcement. These three on the right are all phenomenal. Redeployment allows us to essentially shift our aggression into defense if we want. The missile strike allows us to take out clumps of units like here, and the improved fire control system is just the best in class item for Mustangs if we want to go for Mustang carry. Our opponent decided to go for a missile strike while we went for the improved fire control system. I favored this item for long-term scaling, especially when I feel like this board the Mustangs can do pretty well against the Void Eyes. Opponent went for a very nice play by placing a deep flank pack of crawler here to pull the Mustangs towards it while missiling it out. If successful, he should be able to get an early tower debuff in that process. On our side, we decided to go for the Hound in defense with one pack of crawler to stall. I like to go for a defensive formation in this case against our opponent's board because there is such a big difference between the crawler's movement speed and the sledgehammer movement speed. So in theory, we should be able to clear all the crawlers before the tank and damage dealing units arrive, allowing us to win the secondary engagement after the tower debuffs have occurred. Seems like we get an early tower debuff once again, This time with the Mustangs and with items, we're able to clear up even more of our opponent's army. However, with this counter tower debuff and all of our light units stuck in front, our Sabertooth stood no chance clearing all these crawlers on his own. And as a result, our opponent is going to grab another win on round 2. Round 3 reinforcement. We're not too worried about the Phantom Ray or the Marksman or Vulcan, as we have Mustangs in place and we're prepared against a aerial spec play. Instead, we decided to grab the level 2 Scorpion. This guy here can tank many shots of the Sledgehammers and Void Eye, and it can one-shot half a pack of Sledgehammers in the process. We put it one square in front of our tower for exactly scenarios like this, where our opponent tries to cheese the tower with a forward-facing Phoenix. We decided to go for the Scorpion on the inside of the tower as well, because we noticed our opponent was playing into the flanks already, and I know this guy likes to flank. So we didn't want this Scorpion on the side here getting distracted by the shallow flank. And indeed, opponent went for 2 Sledgehammers right in the deep flank, trying to tie up our Hounds and the Mustangs in the process. Obviously, not knowing this, we decided to go for one more pack of Mustang in the back to secure our anti-air on the left side. And then grabbing a forward-facing Fang, recognizing Sledgehammers are really slow at killing Fangs. And luckily, the Fangs also served as a fantastic shield against our opponent's level 1 Phoenix, preventing us from getting tower debuff too early. Look at these crawlers on the level 1 tower. Oh, lucky tower debuff timing by our level 2 Sabertooth on the right, saving us from getting tower debuffed, and in return, swinging back and dealing massive damage to our opponent on round 3. Finally, gaining some tempo in this game here. Opponent decided to double down on his flank efforts by grabbing the quick teleportation, while we went for the scaling item for the Mustang, the laser sights, and we placed it in the back Mustang here. Even though we recognize these guys do get tied up by the Sledgehammers quite a bit, I want them to have the laser sight so they don't have to move forward too much to come back to help with the front side push once we deal with the deep flank. And whenever I see Sledgehammer deep flanks, I like to go for Wasp, as they do enough damage to break through the potential armor enhancement. They cannot be shot by the Sledgehammers, and once they get a high enough level, they can clear level 1 Sledgehammers really fast. While reinforcing our deep flank defense to prevent a early tower debuff, we decided to also go for our round 4 oil. I've talked about this before. I like to, whenever we're defending, I like to go for oil before on round 3 or round 4, because the odds are the game is going to go up to round 7, round 8, and when the oil comes back online, it's even more powerful than this first round that we're dropping it. And you can see how much work this oil is doing, stopping all of our opponents chaffing the oil, clumping them up, now allowing our one Scorpion to just farm away at these clumped up units 5 at a time. It's very satisfying to watch. With that oil drop, we take round 4 with confidence, taking our opponent down to below half health. Round 5 unit reinforcement. We are immediately looking at the Fire Badgers. Because we have oil on the ground, and we do have a chaff clear problem. We want to clear everything as fast as we can to allow the scorpions to have a clear line of sight on the sledgehammers and the void eyes. So, and 3 packs of any units on the unit drop is a tremendous amount of tempo. This allows us to defend both of our deep flanks while still setting the front of the board on fire. Opponent decided to go for the Wraith, recognizing that our only anti-air are measly 3 packs of Mustangs and some Wasp in the air. And the Wraith just absolutely destroy these units. With the missile strike coming back, opponent went for a very juicy missile here, getting over 400 supplies in value, with the item too. While we decided to go for an additional Scorpion, recognizing with the armor tech, these sledgehammers in the corner are simply tying up our units for far too long. So we line it up with the edge of its attack range to the first sledgehammer in the front. This way we don't have to tech range later on in the game if we don't want to, saving us a lot of money. However, what we did not anticipate was opponent triple downing the flank, getting 1 more pack of sledgehammer with Void Eye in the shallow flank. And with the sledgehammers being at level 1, lined up to our Scorpion and this nice tower debuff, seems like opponent's shallow flank effort amounted to not a whole lot. From here, we just need to hope for our Mustangs can take care of the Wraith that's on the board. Oh, look at this Wraith right here, escaping death with 1 HP left. What a hero. Luckily, we still have half a pack of Mustangs in the back, level 1 only, and some Wasp. Can we take down this level 1 Wraith? Looks like the Wraith is able to take care of the Wasp and the Mustangs, grabbing it a level and a round victory by default. Let's see if our Sabertooth can survive and deal some damage. Looks like it's a tie. We both deal some minor damage to each other. Round 6 reinforcement. I don't like any of these. We don't want our Sabertooth to lose HP and attack power. We like them as tanks. We don't have a good target for nuke. I feel like it's too early in the game. And with 2000 HP left on our opponent, I don't think we can grab the nuke and finish the game. So we decided to skip. While our opponent decided to go for the nuke, maybe fearing that we would grab a nuke of our own and end the game right here, right now. Opponent spent the 300 supplies, targeting our, I would say our pushing side, preventing a potential tower debuff. Meanwhile, we got spooked by the Wraith last round a little bit, and decided to unlock our own Farseer, grabbing the Burst Mode tech. This tech allows our Farseer to almost one-shot a level 1 Wraith in the process. And I feel like Burst Mode also deals tremendous damage to clumped up medium-sized units like the Sledgehammers, entirely ignoring the armor enhancement buff, and we should be able to take out this deep flank with ease with our new addition Farseer. Our opponent here decided to grab the range enhancement and charge shot, officially shifting into carry Void Eye. I think our opponent recognized that the Void Eyes grabbed enough levels in the process, and opponent with pretty good chaff clear ability, their Void Eyes are able to target our medium-sized units, the Scorpions, fairly easily. Look at this, Burst Mode, going to town, taking down the remaining Wraith, and also taking down all the Sledgehammers in the process. And we see this deep flank still being a problem for us. With a few wasps left in the air, if we can take down this level 2 Phoenix, we will grab ourselves a win by default. And looks like that is the case. Even with a level 3 tower of our opponents, eventually we're going to wear it down, get a tower debuff, and start feasting on these high level Void Eyes for experience. Now both of our wasps are going to level. As I mentioned before, chaff problem is our biggest concern, especially with the Void Eye still being on the ground and still being a fairly medium-sized unit. I feel like the Incendiary Bomb can do a lot of damage to our opponent. Opponent thought the same thing, decided to fire our right side, trying to take out the level 2 Mustang with items and the potential level 2 Mustangs here. We put the fire on our side to prevent our opponent from putting a shield and blocking the fire. And we also recognize that with the opponent's unit just streaming in, it doesn't really matter if we place it too far forward, as they're all going to die before they enter the range of the Scorpions and Farseers. From here, we started in last round to beacon our level 2 Saber and Hounds forward, just so we don't get pulled by these pesky side flank distractions. Trying to grab ourselves another tower debuff in the middle of the battle. And with our remaining cash, we grab 2 more Farseer. Even though our opponent's selling out of the Wraith, with opponent being a aerial spec, we are still wary of any kind of big air unit transition. And I feel like these Farseers are the perfect insurance policy against that kind of play. With the level 2 Wasp in the back, we sold out of the Mustang, giving it the item, trying to take care of these annoying sledgehammers as soon as possible. And with the fire in the front and Farseers taking down the shield, looks like we're in a pretty commanding lead here, especially with this tower debuff. However, I say that as most of our army just get deleted by these range charge shot Void Eye. Good thing we leveled our tower to level 3. This level 2 Phoenix would have grabbed a tower debuff and potentially have turned the tide of the game earlier. And with a favorable fire, we only managed to deal about 100 damage to our opponent. Not quite the killing blow that we're hoping to deliver. We don't have any giant units for the barrier. We don't have a carry unit with high firepower or high fire rate for the absorption module. And if you look at our board, we only have 1 tech, so we don't really care for the photon coating. Deciding to skip, grabbing the extra supply, we sold out of our Mustangs with items, noticing that they were still kind of stuck on our sledgehammers, so I didn't want to tech and invest into them. Instead, let's give the item to the Farseer, allowing it to burst down these sledgehammers even easier. And luckily we sold out of these guys. Opponent went for the missile strike on this exact pack. Here I was really annoyed by the carry Void Eyes. And I thought to myself, opponent's only anti-air in this moment is 1 pack of Phoenix and some low-level Mustangs. If we go for the Abyss, we can potentially grab a nice tower debuff timing, clearing the entire board and deal over 1400 damage to close out the game. That's my thought, at least. I wanted to close out the game before the Void Eyes can grab aerial mode. Let's see how this round goes. Just look at the burst mode Farseers. taking down shields one after another, and with the Abyss swiping on our opponent's level 3 tower, looks like we're able to get a nice tower debuff. But once again, these tanky sledgehammers in the front, shielding for the Void Eyes, is causing a real problem for our left side defense. This build is even stronger than I had anticipated. With the Phoenixes left in the air, if we can take them out, we can at least deal the Abyss damage, grabbing a level in the process. So not quite the killing blow that we had hoped to deliver. And now I thought to myself, our opponent is for sure going to grab the aerial mode, and that's going to allow him to gun down the Abyss with ease. At the same time, unit reinforcement. We don't want War Factory nor Melting Point because they don't have any good targets and they would just die to the carry Void Eye. Instead, we decided to grab the Vulcan, giving us a 200 supply unlock. We sold out of the level 3 Vulcan to grab 2 more Vulcans with Incendiary Bomb. Seeing that our opponent does have a few packs of Mustangs in the back, and we want to use the fire to help with chaff clear, and potentially even burning down the Void Eyes if opponent hasn't grabbed the aerial mode yet. From here, we're out of supplies, and we decided to just continue our initial plan of pushing the level 3 tower, while our opponent grabbed the aerial mode, reinforce the tower to level 4. Now this tower has so much HP and only has 4 seconds of debuff. And just reinforce the right side defense with the Phoenix and the Void Eyes. These high level DPS units should do pretty well into our level 2 Abyss. Let's see if we can overcome the sheer firepower of our opponent by just forcing our way into the level 4 tower. From here, initially I wanted to go for carry Wasp against these Void Eyes, but opponent went for the Mustangs, and that pretty much killed our dream of the carry Wasp. You can see here, and these Void Eyes now with with our movement speed buff and aerial spec, so they no longer die to the Scorpions, and they just deal so much damage in the process, completely erasing the left side of our tower. This was a level 3 tower to boot, and they just cut it down like nothing. With our remaining army, hopefully we can get a tower debuff, allowing our Abyss to kill all the Void Eye in the process, and deal a little more damage to our opponent. Looks like we're able to survive with just the Abyss. At this point, things are getting a little scary. If our opponent reinforces the right side of his tower with more Void Eyes, we are in serious trouble. We need to do something drastic, and we need to do it right now. With the reinforcement, even though this is round 10, both of us recognize that we are just spamming level 2 medium-sized, small-sized units. We need all the additional deployments that we can get. Both of us grabbing the additional deployment. Opponent is probably going to grab more Void Eyes in the process. While on our side, we decided to level our defending tower to level 4. Sold out of our Scorpion, recognizing that they were not doing too much. And let's go into our Farseer with range enhancement and aerial spec. With these 2 enhancements, we should be able to outrange the Void Eyes by quite a bit, allowing us to take them down before they can even lock on to the Farseers. Granted, we need to chaff clear first. And I should probably put something in front here. Good. Put a pack of crawler in front to allow our Vulcans to not die instantly to the Void Eyes, so they can shoot out these incendiary bombs. From here, not knowing what to do, we just grab more Farseers. Now that they're triple teched, every unit that we get is a lot of value. Our opponent, like we anticipated, just triple downed on more Void Eyes from the back line to the pushing side. And just look at all of these medium units. Even the Vulcan is just going to melt. Wow. And with how fast our chaff clear units are dying, our Farseers in the back don't even have a chance to lock onto the Void Eyes, as these sledgehammers with tech are simply way too beefy and way too annoying for our units to deal with. Here I notice the only thing surviving and helping out with the Void Eye clearage is the Mustangs. Even without the tech, they're able to stay back, create quite a bit of a chaff problem for our opponent's Void Eye. But perhaps we can start to think about leaning into the Mustangs. Round 11 reinforcement. Once again, none of these deal with the carry Void Eyes that well. So we decided to just grab a big unit and sell out of it, giving us 2,400 supplies. And on round 11, I'm sweating a little bit. Our opponent's nuke that he grabbed on round 6 is back. And with our units all very vulnerable within killing range of one nuke, this could be the end of us if we don't play this round carefully. So we decided, recognizing our opponent went for the nuke earlier here, probably targeting these two Sabertooth and the Abyss, we're going to beacon our units away. It looks like we guessed correctly. From here, lay down the fire, grabbing Mustangs with double tech instantly, range enhancement, and aerial spec. We should probably be thinking about selling out of this Farseer or the Wasp next round, so we can transfer the valuable item to these level 2 Mustangs. From here, let's pray. Our opponent went for even more Mustangs with anti-missile with missile interceptor. Quite strange. I guess he's trying to intercept all the burst mode Farseers. And looks like it's working quite well with this many Mustangs on the board. None of the missiles, even the swarm missiles, not touching the ground. That is a very cheeky play. With us able to grab a early tower debuff before our opponent's Rhino can kill the level 4 tower, looks like we're able to clean up the right side despite getting nuked on. Now the question is, can we clear our opponent's board and grab this victory at the end? With the tower debuff, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's see how the Void Eyes... Oh my goodness, these Void Eyes at level 5 and 6 with shield tech? Oh my gosh. I can't believe they took down our level 2 Abyss along with the Farseer at the end. Finally, round 12. A spell that I've been looking for. The Lightning Storm. As tanky as these guys are, they're aerial medium-sized units. I'm hoping the Storm can help us take down any shield our opponent has, kill the Mustangs, and in the process, hopefully reduce these high-level Void Eyes health by a little bit. Our opponent grabbed a very deadly combo of the oil with the Lightning Storm on our right side, recognizing if they can take down these Void Eye, if they can take down the Abyss, our opponent basically has the game secured. From here, with 1500 supply, we decided to prioritize our shield, as we started to lean into the Mustangs for Void Eye clearing. We absolutely need our Mustangs to stay alive. So we double shield on the right side, hoping the shields can stay alive for long enough to weather the storm. From here, we just grabbed even more level 2 Mustangs, thinking, hey, these guys are amazing chaff against the Void Eye, and they deal pretty good damage against these aerial units with medium health. Well, I say that, now the Void Eyes have over 10,000 health per unit with shields. This unit is insane. Okay, with our burst mode Farseer still going to town and the Mustangs hiding in the shield, it looks like we're actually defending the middle a little bit better compared to last round. Now, can we defend for long enough for this level 2 Abyss to grab a tower debuff? Now a level 4 tower. With the Mustang safely hiding in the shield and this nice tower debuff, looks like even these level 7 Void Eyes with shields and full tech cannot withstand our defense. And here I'm very happy that we ended up grabbing the Farseer, as we needed some serious DPS against these high level Void Eyes with the shield. Even with our Abyss dying at the end, we were finally able to deliver the killing blow that we had been trying to do since round 8. In summary, we started out the game defending against our opponent's Sledgehammer cage by getting our Scorpions in the range and setting up our board with Farseer with burst mode to take care of the Sledgehammers and to reinforce our anti-air. Our opponent recognized that we were really heavy into the medium-sized units like the Scorpions and Farseer, when decided to go for carry Void Eye. And from there, we just simply struggled every single turn, trying to hold on to the game, trying to deliver the final killing blow. We tried the Abyss Air Cheese before opponent's Void Eye's aerial mode, and then after opponent grabbed the aerial mode, we went triple tech, aerial spec, and range on the Farseer, and that still didn't do enough. Until the very end, we finally decided to go for the Mustang with range and aerial spec. That seemed to have been the major difference maker against our opponent's full quad tech Void Eye carry. And if you stay till the very end, we're going to play the last round as our opponent, see if there's anything he could have done to win the game and deliver 2600 HP damage. Okay, let's grab the Lightning Storm. I think we still put it here, right? Or do we put it... I probably want to put it here to kill the Mustangs. And we'll put a oil here. Same thing. Slowing things down. Sell out of the Rhino. I guess he ran out of time in the round before. And from here, we are going to go for a level 2 mountain. I think this guy can tank a lot of damage in the process. Put it here. Grab more Void Eyes. Level them. Let's reinforce this defense. From here, grab the range. And let's beacon this Rhino into the level 1 tower. Let's see. See if this works. The idea is to use this mountain to lock up every single unit and potentially even the abyss swipe. And in that process, I just want to take down this level 2 abyss. If opponent don't get a tower debuff, then we're looking pretty happy. Okay, look at this level 2 mountain. Insane tankiness. I should have put it right in the front, or maybe even right in front of the abyss. But that bought us enough time to clean up the right side. And I don't think anything on this board can take down this level 2 abyss. Especially with a tower debuff timing right here. So yeah, if you see abyss, just grab a mountain. Let's see. The opponent should win the round. Not by much. But if we had placed the mountain better, our opponent probably could have even have won the game by delivering a lot of damage. So that's how I would have played if I was the opponent. Just grabbing a high level mountain earlier on to lock up the abyss. Because these attacks counts as ticks. So if we can block some damage per tick, the mountain can actually do quite well against the abyss. So that is game from our opponent's perspective. Very close game that could have gone either way. I hope you guys enjoyed that game as much as I did. Until next time.